Hi everybody, Leo Babauta from Zen Habits here. So good to be here with you. In this video, we're going to talk about courage, which is the ability to start to face our fears, to start to take action in the face of our resistance and avoidance and wanting to distract ourselves, wanting to numb ourselves. A lot of the things that we would like to change about ourselves or about our lives, really at the heart of it is there's some kind of fear, resistance, avoidance, procrastination, just having a hard time facing up to these things over and over again. And the quality that I want to talk about today that we can cultivate to face all of these fears and resistances is courage. Courage is something that we might think of as this nebulous, kind of thing that they talk about in, movies or whatever. But I believe that it's a muscle that we can start to develop, the muscle to actually face that which we want to avoid. And so you might have like a list of things on your task list, a list of things in your inbox that you have been avoiding. They're just piling up. And that is where we can cultivate courage to start to face all of these things. Maybe in your life, there's a big project that you've been putting off for a long time. Maybe there's this new business you want to start, or a creative project, or a book you want to write. This is where courage would be a really amazing quality to have. But it's not something that we either have or we don't. We're born with, or we're just, screwed. Courage is something we can cultivate, again, like a muscle. And so that's something that I've been working with on myself for a long time now. And I really believe that I've cultivated that muscle so that I've done some things that really I thought were impossible, from running, a few marathons to an ultra marathon to doing, the Go Ruck challenge, which is really hard. But beyond physical things, meditating and changing my habits and becoming an early riser. Not so early these days, but I used to be a very early riser. Writing and putting my work out into the world, hosting retreats, giving talks on stage where I had stage fright before, working one-on-one with clients, and on and on and on. The list goes really on and on, because they are outward manifestations of this inner courage that I've been cultivating for the last 20 years, since 2005 when I first started this journey. And it's not something that I'm not special, right? Everybody has the ability to develop this innate courage that we all have. And so in my Fearless Living Academy, which I really invite you to join, I'm going to put the link below, fearlessliving.zenhabits.net. In my Fearless Living Academy, I have a pilot course called Courage Through Action, which I'm going to talk about in a minute. And in the month of October, I don't know when you're watching this video, but in the month of October, I'm putting out a video every week in Fearless Living Academy for our members on the topic of cultivating courage. So I invite you to come in, deepen into this topic with me. I'm going to go further into the topic here in this video. But if you want to really work with this, develop, cultivate the muscle of courage, come into Fearless Living Academy. We have a course on this. We have a monthly theme on it right now. If you come in after October, maybe you're watching this video, in the future, it's still there. So you can come in and still work with all of this stuff. So it's something that we're putting out there in October, but it will be there whenever you decide to come in. So let's talk about courage through action. Courage is something that we can develop to face our fears, but the way that we do that is not by just sitting and meditating or like thinking about something. The way we cultivate the muscle of courage is through action, taking actions on a regular basis. And in doing so, we start to cultivate trust in ourselves, the ability to face things that are harder and harder and harder. And we learn a set of skills that help us to keep showing up on a regular basis. So courage through action. I don't think you can just have courage or cultivate it through some kind of inner process. You have to actually take action. And those actions can be very small. They don't have to be like, I'm putting myself out there, I'm putting my music album into the world, and being incredibly courageous like that, or speaking on a stage in front of 1,000 people. It doesn't have to be that. It could be little micro steps towards something like that. If you want to put out an album or write a book, could you start to show up on a regular basis in little bits every day? Maybe you want to plow through your to-do list and inbox and take care of all those things that you've been avoiding or procrastinating on. Courage is, let me take one of those things off of my list or out of my inbox and really just do the smallest step on that. Make a micro decision or a micro action and do that over and over and over again, and eventually that list starts to clear out. Of course, our to-do lists are never ending, so it's not about clearing the list, but it's about the ability to face these things that we've been avoiding. So courage through action. I really believe that the way we do this is through regular practice. I like the rhythm of 5 days a week, doing it in small doses, so small focus sessions to start with every day, and eventually those focus sessions can grow longer, or you can have more of them in the day. And use those focus sessions very intentionally to target the things that you've been avoiding. Don't do the 10 out of 10 avoidance things, like the ones that are like the scariest. Do smaller versions of those ones or tasks that are easier. And eventually, as you do that, you will actually develop this muscle. It's like going to the gym. When people go to the gym, you're not like, I'm going to bench press 400 pounds. No, that's something you work your way up to. You might start, what I started with was just the bar, which is 45 pounds. It felt really easy. Great, perfect. I'm just going to get into the habit of doing that. Actually, what I started with was push-ups. And then I started lifting weights with just the bar. And then I put these little skinny 5-pound weights on there, and I did that. And it felt really stupid because in the same gym, there were guys with multiple huge weights on there, and they're like, huge, muscly man. And I'm like, I am just starting out. And eventually, of course, I lifted twice as much as them. Just kidding. No, I never got to be a huge muscly dude, but that's not my priority. It's where do you start so that you can keep going and be fit for life? And in that metaphor, what we want to do is start by lifting as little as possible. So we want to be taking on the small tasks, taking the micro actions. And as you do so, you will develop more trust in yourself. You'll start to develop confidence in your ability to face the hard stuff. It's going to feel really silly starting with such an easy thing at first, but that's where I highly recommend that you start. Okay. That is courage through action in a nutshell. I believe that this underlying quality that we don't really pay much attention to can change your entire life. If you'd like to practice with me, come join me. fearlessliving.zenhabits.net. Link is down below. My Fearless Living Academy. I've cultivated a whole community there. I do monthly webinars for our members. I have a video every week on this topic of courage in October. And I have a new course. It's beta course right now, but it's coming out, being rolled out slowly to our members, called Courage Through Action. I highly, highly recommend it if this topic speaks to you. Let me know in the comments if if this speaks to you. I'd really love to hear that. If you have any questions about this, give this a like if it helped you, if you found it interesting, so that other people can can find this, and subscribe. I'm trying to put out regular videos one every week at this point that are really valuable. So if this is something that you like, subscribe so you can get this in your inbox, and share with others. I would really, really love it if you think others could use some courage practice in their lives. Share this video with them. Thanks, my friends. Take care. Have a great rest of your day. Thanks for listening.